What up? What up? UFC T-Dot breakdowns. We're here for the UFC Fight Night. Oh wait, no, that's not right. UFC on ESPN 35. Rob Font versus Marlon Chito Vera. For some reason, Rob Font didn't make weight, which is weird because he's like an adamant professional who like is always in great shape, but he missed weight by like 2 pounds or something like this. Um, on the commentary, they had DC and Dominic Cruz, which is always going to be some fun because at some point, usually Dominic pokes at Bisping, but this card it seemed like Bisping did more poking than Dominic. But I just like the guys on the card because they're real chippy and they're both kind of like Bisping's always kind of like, you know, I could kill you, right? And Dominic's always kind of like, why don't you try it, Bisping? I don't know. All right, first up, we had a canceled fight on the prelims: Carlos Candelero versus Tatsuro Tiara. Tiara's 10-0, Canderero's 8-1, and his one loss was a split decision on the Contender Series. So it probably would have been a good fight. Maybe to get rescheduled. It's two up-and-coming fighters. First fight of the night, we had the only women's fight of the card. It was Shanna Young versus Gina Manzani. In the first round, Manzani landed this big knee that got a knockdown. She was controlling her on the ground. In the second round, Shanna Young got top control, and just ground and pound to finish the match. I'm pretty sure she got top control off of like a sweep too. Like I don't think she took her down. I think Manzani took him down, and she ended up getting on top and ground and pound. It was literally the first fight, so I may be getting that wrong. But she won by TKO from the ground and pound punches on Manzani, and Manzani kind of dominated that first round, so it was kind of crazy. All right, next up we had Nathan Levy versus Mike Breeden. And it was crazy this fight because in the beginning, like Nathan Levy was just too good. Like Breeden was trying to get it or trying to stay on the feet and strike. And he was clearly a better striker when they were on the feet, but it wasn't like badly better. He just was better on the feet. But then when they got on the ground, it seemed like Levy had all the advantages. I had him winning the first round and the second round. In the second round, like Breeden came out hot, like throwing big punches, and Levy took some crazy punches, ended up getting him to grappling. And funniest thing is before rounds, James Krause was telling this fighter, like, I want you to go out there and disrespect his face, disrespect that man. It was funny, and he came out and he did disrespect him. And then like third round, like finally, I feel like Mike Breeden won this round, and he came out really hard, and I feel like he broke Levy. He was throwing like crazy body punches. He was stopping takedowns. He was getting down on the ground after like failing with takedowns that were stuffed or stopped, and then like kind of waiting. And Breeden was just like, nah, come on up and let's see what happens, bro. Come on up. And Levy was looking at the clock with 3 minutes left in the round, like, how much time is left? Taking big mouth breaths. It was looking bad. Like, if this is a 5-round fight, right at the end of the round, though, Levy caught Brennan, who was being overzealous because he was winning. He was on the aggressive on the warpath. He got caught with his left hook that knocked him down, which kind of just. Even though I feel like he won that third round, it was the exclamation point that Levy needed to make sure he wasn't going to lose this fight. And to be honest, like in the beginning, it didn't seem like it. But by the end of this fight, I was thinking this could be the fight of the night. It was that good of a fight by the end of it. Nathan Levy wins unanimous decision. Next up, we had Gabe Green versus Johan Lenise. What's funny is Gabe Green apparently was blind, and he just got surgery, and now he can see. And I'm pretty sure I think it was 10-3 blind. So, Gabe Green versus Johan Lenise. First round, it was a very close round. I feel like Johan probably edged him out. He did better in the clinches and on the ground for sure, and just those grappling exchanges, I should say. But Gabe Green was doing really well on the feet. They both were doing well on the feet, pretty evenly matched. It was a good fight. Second round. Johan landed this big overhand right that Gabe Green looked knocked out to me. His legs and arms were straight as arrows, and he was just like, but he just recovered real fast, and then like landed like 4 body shots in a row, but he was like loading them up like Stipe did DC. And like at some point, Lanise went down and he just grounded pounded him for the finish, gave green for the TKO. But I don't know if his vision was affecting him or not. All I know is he looked really fucking good. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he was knocked out, man. He looked knocked out, but he recovered so quickly. Like, even if the ref thought he was knocked out, he recovered so quickly, it was like, well, I guess he's not knocked out. Next up, we had Francisco Figueroa, who's Davison Figueroa's little brother. He looks like dark-skinned Davison. He looked like little dark-skinned Davison against Daniel Da Silva. This was a very short fight. It was crazy. It looked like Da Silva. Okay, so on the feet, Figueroa has like the same kind of weird power his brother has. Like, he'll knock you out at 125 pounds with one punch. And so, he's hitting hard. Da Silva and him are matching pretty well. They're so fast, both of them lightning fast. Every punch looked like it hurt like a mug. But at some point, Da Silva gets Figueroa down, and it seems like he's in control. And then Figueroa goes for something, and the scramble to get out of that, he just knee barred him. I mean, it was quick. It was quick, that knee bar. But yeah, Francisco Figueroa wins by knee bar. And I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, did he just give him that knee bar? Is this fixed? Because just the way it happened initially in real-time speed, it looked fake. It was like, come on, man. When you watch it in slow motion, like, nah. Like, the dude turns, and as he goes to pull his leg, he just locks it. And you see him for like 1 second be like, I'm not gonna, okay, there it is. And you see his knee, like you see it, he twerk and tap. So, I don't know. Looked legit on further inspection. On the initial watch, I was kind of like, man, that's suspect. But when I watched it back and watched the replays, like, nah, man, that was just a smooth transition from a scramble. He wasn't in a position to get, it was a scramble where Da Silva was turning around trying to stand up, and he just was able to whoop, whoop. All right, and then for the prelim main event, we had Alexander Romanov versus Chase Sermon. This fight, man, they came out, they were hitting each other hard as fuck for like 10 seconds, and then they got on the ground, and Romanov just dominated on the ground for the short time they were down there. Got his fucking arm in Americana. And like you could hear Chase like, don't bring my arm! Don't bring my arm! I don't know if that's what he said, but he yelled something to his opponent. Like to be like, I tap, dude, don't keep twisting. Because I think he was in real, like he was trying to fight it long enough that he was in real danger of being snapped if he hadn't tapped when he did. And like he yelled out like, don't break my arm, I think, because the old dude might not have felt the tap or something, I don't know, but they seemed cordial afterwards. So but yeah, Romanov first round win, submission by Americana. And then on the main card, again, fucking Rob Font missed weight. And not to take anything away from Chito Vera, but what the hell's going on with Rob Font that he's missing weight? That guy don't miss weight. Like that's real weird for Rob Font. Like, he's known to be like, one, a professional, and two, always in the best of shape. And I mean, it's not like he was, he wasn't fat or nothing. Like, something happened during this weight cut, and maybe that's why his performance wasn't exactly what we're used to seeing from him. But on the same note, that motherfucker Chito Vera might be the truth. All right, so first up we had Christoph Jocko versus Gerald Meerschaert. Oh man, this fight. I feel like Christoph Jocko was just kind of better, like this much better, but everywhere. Like this much better at wrestling, this much better at striking. He didn't really let it get to the jiu-jitsu. It seemed like Meerschaert was just outmatched everywhere they went, and it's crazy because Gerald Meerschaert is like, he's really fucking good, but like, and he's been looking really, really good lately, other than when he fought Kamzat. But yeah, man, Jocko just he won by unanimous decision. He just dominated pretty much in every aspect of the fight. Gerald just didn't really have any answers for him, and he had his moments. You know what I mean? Gerald Meerschaert, he's a great fighter. Great fighter. Next up, we had Darren Elkins versus Tristan Connolly. Man, Darren Elkins, dude, get off of him. He's still on him right now. He's just on his back, just grinding on him. That guy. You ever had that friend that don't know how to play? You're too rough, and he like to hurt you, and he put his chin in your shoulder and do this shit, and I don't know why, but it like hurts through your whole muscle and bones. That's Darren. He does that shit in UFC matches. Like, dude, Just wrestle. He's like, nah, man, my shoulder's really hurting you. Like, I'm digging it into your rib cage. Like, he's that guy. He was all over this Tristan Connolly dude. He was all over him. Still, right now, Tuesday, I'm feeling a little claustrophobic because of the way he was on this dude. He wasn't the only wrestler that was all over somebody in this fight card. He's just the only one that affected me in my subconscious. I feel like when I see him on it, it feels like, is there a tarantula the size of Darren Elkins on me? How many arms this motherfucker got? Man, he was just jumping on that body triangle. Like it was like, in this fight, even when they wasn't on the ground, it was just grueling. The whole fight. The moment the bell rang, I could be mistaken, but it seemed like they were both covered in sweat and blood. Like it was like, ding, ding, sweat, blood, let's go. Like they were already cut before the fight started. It was so grueling, this fight. Like I don't even remember the initial exchanges. I feel like they just came right to the middle and just and then just grinded for the rest of the fight. The whole fight was like that. And when they was on the feet throwing punches, they somehow were still just grinding. Because Darren Elkins was just all over him. And what's crazy is Tristan Connolly was like, good. Like, I don't know if he could have handled it much better. I mean, besides just knocking Elkins out. That would have been the only thing he could have done that would have been better, considering, like, he was able to get space. He was able to land combinations. He was able to do things, considering that Darren Elkins never got off of him. He never got off of him. I had Elkins winning the first round. The second round was a lot closer, right? But I still had Elkins winning. But it was just a closer round. You could have given this round easily to Connolly. The second round, like at like with a minute and 40 seconds left, like Elkins like had tired himself out from all the wrestling and shit, and Connolly just literally just stood up with him, and then like I don't know what happened, but Elkins just got his energy back and was like, oh yeah, let me get back on you. It was crazy, man. And then like at the very end of the round, old dude Connolly landed a big elbow and a big knee to end the round. That like I think it stunned Elkins, but it didn't matter. It was the end of the round. And then like I said, that round was much more even. But I feel like Elkins still won that round. He had more control and he was just more dominant. But Connolly definitely could have won that round easy. And then the third round, I felt the same way as I felt in the second round. It was very close. Connolly was landing a lot of fucking elbows, a lot of fucking knees. Elkins never got off of him the whole fight. He never got off of him. I'm pretty sure he got him in the body triangle. Or am I thinking about a different fight with the body triangle? Yeah, I'm thinking about a different fight with the body. I mean, Elkins went for the... Matter of fact, that's what it was. Elkins went for the body triangle, but he couldn't quite get it. He was trying to squeeze his own leg in with his hand, like, get underneath my leg for this body triangle. That's what happened with Elkins. Anyways, went to the judges. That unanimous decision for Elkins. I can't argue with it, although if someone felt that Tristan won round 2 and 3 and won that fight, I couldn't really argue with them either because he really did put up a great fight. This could have been the fight of the night also. As a matter of fact, this probably was the fight of the night, just being honest. Rob Font was... they probably would give that fight of the night because it was the main event. It's a 5-rounder. But I don't know if I feel like that was a fight of the night. If I was Dana, I'd be giving the fight of the night award to the Darren Elkins, Tristan Connolly, to Rob Font, Cheeto Vera, and to Nathan Levy, Mike Braden. All 3 of them will be getting bonus. All 6 of those fighters will be getting bonuses for if I'm the fucking Dan. Like, give them their win purses, even the ones that lost or something. That's what I would do. I haven't seen the press conferences. Dana's probably already done that shit. A lot of people talk shit about Dana White. That motherfucker's really good at rewarding motherfuckers who put on a great show. When your fight is amazing, that motherfucker gives you extra money. And like, a little respect for that. He should just pay everyone more, and you don't have to do that. But you get my point. All right. Next up, we had Jared Gordon versus Grant Dawson. I said Darren Elkins won by unanimous decision. We had Jared Gordon versus Grant Dawkins. Grant Dawkins. Jared Gordon. So Grant Dawkins went for taking on Jared Gordon, got him in the guillotine, and DDT'd the shit out of him. And he just took the DDT and used that shit to leverage to top side control. It was like, yo! And then as soon as he got side control, he started throwing short elbows. Gordon turned over. As soon as he turned over, jumped on his back, put the body triangle in. This is what I was mistaken. I was saying Darren Elkins. He wasn't doing the body triangle. He was just all over that dude. Tristan, our Grant Dawson was the one who was putting the body triangle on every single time. So he gets the body triangle. Pretty much that's that round. So Grant Dawson wins that round. And that was very early. He got that body triangle. He never relinquished it. He just beat him up and tried to choke him for the rest of the fight. And then in round two, like Gordon did a much better job of staying on the feet and avoiding takedowns. But then around 3 minutes and 55 seconds, like, dude, it's only a minute into the round. Right on his back, body triangle. Gordon did do much better this time though. Like he actually did some wrestling and he was grappling a little bit. He did much better in the striking exchanges, but it didn't matter. Grant Dawson was just too much. His wrestling and grappling were just I wouldn't say leaps ahead, but I think he was physically stronger, and that's what was really giving him the advantage. He was physically stronger, and he was like a tad bit better at the wrestling specifically. Maybe not the clinch so much, but the wrestling. I think his strength plus his I believe he had a little bit better skill caused him to just be dominant. He was dominant. Jared Gordon in the third round, I had Grant Dawson win the first 2 rounds. Like, it wasn't even close. In the third round, Jared Gordon, he was really doing good in the third round. Like, excuse me, he was landing big punches. He was avoiding takedowns. Like, he was doing really stuffing them, like utilizing them for strikes. He was landing elbows. At some point, Grant Dawson was using his lead elbow, and he threw this perfect lead elbow, just like boop. And Jared Gordon was just like, boop. He just busted him open with that lead elbow. And then he just took the back and got him in the body triangle and rear naked choked him. Of course, that's how that fight ended. Every single round ended with Grant Dawson on his back with a body triangle. So, of course, it ended with him on his back with a body triangle getting a rear naked choke, right? It was great as Grant Dawson in his speech after the fight. He's there with Bisping, and he's like, last time. So this is what he said, right? He was like, the last time that I lost, Barack Obama was the president. Put some respect on my name. He said, I'm the most underrated lightweight in the division. He ain't lost since Obama was president. Maybe you should put some respect on his name. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we had Andre Philly versus Joe Anderson Brito. It's great. Andre Philly is so good at everything, but it's like he just can't put it together. But he's like so good at virtually everything you're doing in the ring, and he can't consistently put it together, is what I should say, because he'll get like a 2 or 3 fight win going on where he looks unbeatable, and then he'll have a fight like this where you're like, "Oh, come on, Andre," and watch him come back and win like 3, 4 fights in a row after this. Anyways, Joe Anderson Brito caught him with a big right hand. Like they were in an exchange, and to be honest, I think Philly was winning the exchanges. He was landing a bunch of leg kicks. I feel like he was winning the exchanges, but Brito caught him with his right hand. And it was like full swing, and he was swinging too. So it was one of the ones where you know what I'm saying? But this hand hit the fist, this hand hit the air, and it was his whole body into the fist going the opposite direction. Philly goes down. Brito jumps on him, and he's ground and pounding him. And I mean, Andre looks like he's out. Like he's just kind of covering up. And so the ref calls a stop. But I mean, the way he popped up and was just normal was kind of like, yikes. It's like, it didn't look good for him. And it probably was a good stoppage. But man, did he jump up quick and not seem to have anything wrong with him. Like, as soon as the ref was like, stop, he was just like, all right, Like, he was talking to the doctors like that. No, I'm fine. Everything's good. So, I think maybe what happened was Brito might have flash knocked him out, and he recovered, but just a little bit too slow for the referee's liking. But he didn't protest it or anything. I'm just saying he popped up really quickly and didn't seem very affected. He was affected. He was very disappointed. You know what I'm saying? So here's something that I've been talking about, man. Like Bisping, Dominic Cruz, Felder, when they get in the ring, not Dominic Cruz, Felder and Bisping for sure, Rogan too, but you know, when they get in the ring, they're having this good time with these fighters. So Brito is so happy. Like he grabs somebody to come translate for him. Please tell Andre Philly I'm a huge fan of his. And then he ran over to Bisping. Oh, Bisping, I'm such a big fan, blah, blah. And he hugged Bisping, right? And when he hugged Bisping, you could see Bisping just like, well, there goes that suit. What I love about it though is that Bisping understood it though. He just let him. He was like, all right, man, go get your win and we'll talk in a second. I got the mic, right? But like DC, man, I don't think he would have hugged DC. DC would have been, he would have went for that hug and DC would have, hey man, handshake, what's going on? Don't make me drop a level on you. Daniel Cormier still wrestles. You can't tell me nothing. I'm telling you, man, when DC be in a ring, he looked like the other fighter got a vendetta against him. He always looked like, hey man, good fight out there. Yeah, no, I'm just getting into a lowered position just in case I need to double leg your ass. Great fight out there. Yeah, He don't really be doing that, but just watch his body language, man. Like, Bisping body language just kind of be like, don't touch me. You're covered in sweat and blood. I'm wearing $1,000 suit. Paul Felder doesn't care. Paul Felder's like, yeah, get that blood on me. I'm a real warrior. I love blood. You want to punch me open? I've got so much scar tissue. You want to punch me open? DC be like, yeah, man, yeah, cool. Keep your distance, man. Keep your distance. DC interviews fighters like he think John Jones finna come out the back and stone cold stun him or something. None of that's true. I'm sure DC doesn't even feel that way. I think that he's just naturally kind of always ready to shoot for the double leg, and that's why he always just looked like that to me, because he is always ready to shoot that double. I guarantee you, if you walk up on DC in the streets and there was a need for him to double leg you, you'd be double legged before you know what's going on. Anyways, I'm only joking, but in all honesty, I think DC would have shot that double leg before Brito could have got clinched up. At least would have thrown a sneaky little trip afterwards. Also, they let Brito talk for 47 minutes. He was like, you know, oh, you just won. It was great. This is probably the biggest fight of your career. And he handed him the mic, and Brito was like, oh, un moment. He was talking for so long. For so long, they let that guy go. Like, I don't know if it was because he was speaking in Portuguese or because when the translator would respond, he would just be like, yeah, and then there's this. But the dude was just talking and talking and talking and talking. Anyways, it wasn't a big deal. I just feel like he talked for a very long time, that guy. Brito. He was talking for a long time in his interview. Next up, we had Andre Arlovski versus Jake Collier. Both of these dudes are rockheads. And I don't mean that to be insulting. I just mean like, so Arlovski is really good at taking the punch on his forehead, right? Like he's good at it. Like, and he's good at avoiding punches too. So it's hard to even see what he's gonna do. So sometimes you throw a punch at him and he's just not there. Another time you throw a punch at him and he just headbutts your fist. That shit can't feel good after a while. And his head is harder than your fist. His forehead, right? This part of his head. And like, you just watch him, he's really good at just taking, like, especially jabs. Like, he don't even try to avoid the jab. He just I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure he got his nose broken in this fight too, because Jake Collier don't just got a rock head, he got rock hands. Andre Arlovski has gotten better and better and better. It's crazy. Motherfucker like 1,000,002, and when he was 1,000,001, he wasn't as good as he is now. He's like a different kind of good than he used to be, but he's good, man. He's so smooth and fluid with the way he moves, his footwork. Like, he's just so much better than he used to be, and he looks really like, if he had been this kind of fighter earlier on in his career, he'd probably be much more successful. And he's already very successful. Don't misunderstand me. I just mean, like, if he fought like this in the beginning and evolved into something better than this with age to his prime, because I think he's probably past his prime, but he's still like in the last phases of his prime. He's one of those guys with extreme longevity, like LeBron. Speaking of LeBron, I saw a toy today at the store, Bugs Bunny and LeBron from the new Space Jam. I haven't seen that movie, but why in the fuck was LeBron big old 6'7" ass Robin and Bugs Bunny, the cartoon rabbit, is Batman? All right, you think Michael Jordan would have been Robin? I think Kobe Bryant would have ate that rabbit. It's just been Kobe Bryant with a campfire and rabbit legs cooking over it. fucking LeBron, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you let them talk you into being Bugs Bunny's Robin? You're the sidekick? The only human in the movie. I haven't seen it. Anyway, so first round, yeah, I feel like it was a very close round. I feel like Andre was probably getting the best of him, but Collier, when he hit him, was hitting him hard, and there were chants like very early in the fight, Andre, Andre, and it seemed like every time Andre hit Chase was gonna, or Jake was gonna be knocked out, and it seemed like every time Jake hit Andre should have been knocked out. Like they were hitting each other very fucking hard. Like it looked like Thanos and the Hulk was fighting. They was hitting each other hard. They big boys too. And then second round, Andre was throwing lead elbows that were landing. I mean, his evolution is crazy. Like I was saying, like he just got good, man. He's really like, he's so fluid with the way he strikes these days. His movement and striking is so fluent. Collier did get a takedown in round 2, but Andre kind of, I mean, it was a lot of exchanges, but Andre ended up getting kind of right back up. I felt like Andre won that second round, although that takedown could have won it for Jake, maybe, but I feel like that was really Andre's round, that second round. The third round, the first round, even though I felt it was even, it was probably Andre's round. And the second round was pretty, I feel like it was Andre's round that Jake could have possibly stolen. Third round, at some point they were just headbutting each other over and over again, and like Arlasky kept complaining like, hey man, headbutt. And so at some point Collier got a warning, so then Collier started doing it. So like literally every time they would exchange, they just like boop, and one of them would be like, oh, headbutt it, boop, and then Jake would be like, oh, headbutt it, boop, Andre would be like, oh, headbutt. They were doing, and then Bisping was like, there's been so many headbutts, and Dominic was like, those are clashes. Bisping, headbutts are intentional. He's like, you're right, clashes. Fucking Andre chants in the third round again. I think there were actually Collier chants in the second or the beginning of the third round, but mostly it was Andre chants. They went to the final bell, and it was close at the end. They were throwing punches. They were both going in. I think they both ended up getting stunned towards the end of the round. Andre won by split decision. Showed a lot of respect for Jake. On to the main event. We got Rob Font coming in 138.5 pounds to 135 pound fight against Marlon Cheeto Vera. Cheeto, I remember when he fought Sugar Sean, he had that weird leg kick that just like disabled Sugar Sean, and they beat Sugar Sean, and it was kind of like, I don't know, man, that fight was a fluke. But they was treating him like, yo, you really did something crazy to him, and it was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like when Conor knocked out Jose Aldo, nobody was like, oh, Aldo sucks. No, they were like, oh my God, how good is Conor to do that to a fighter this good, right? And so I think that's the same thing that happened with Cheeto. They was like, how good is Cheeto to do this to a fighter this good? Because it was a fluke. Not a fluke in the sense that Cheeto didn't deserve it. He didn't actually do that. Just it was a fluke like, I think if they fight 100 times in a row, that's the only time it ends like that. Where he just gets one leg kick in that's so good that Shane can't walk no more. Like when Mighty Mouse did it to Henry Cejudo that one time. Remember that? Like, sure it could happen again. I just don't think, I don't think Cheeto's plan was to disable his leg with one leg kick. Like, you get what I'm saying? His plan was to throw leg kicks and try to stop Shane from being able to use his reach advantage in box as well, and limit his kicks and make him have to get in close so Cheeto could clinch up and utilize his weapons that might be better than Sugar Sean's, right? That's what I believe. Anyways, this Cheeto Vera is better than I thought. And not just because of this fight, but this fight really solidified it for me. He was so good in so many different ways. And I mean, Rob Font is good. And Rob Font was good in this fight. And I mean, if he was fighting virtually anyone else, this would have been a crazier fight because Rob Font was lighting Cheeto up as much as Cheeto was lighting Rob up. More than Cheeto was lighting Rob up. Problem is, Rob was hitting Cheeto, and Cheeto was going, eh. And Cheeto was hitting Rob, and Rob's face was going, like Cheeto ruined Rob's face. And Rob must have hit Cheeto 100 times more than he hit him. But just every time Cheeto hit Rob, it seemed like it hurt. And then at the end of the fight, Cheeto was playing with him. And then Rob was like, you think I'm hurt more than I am based on how I look. And so Rob, whenever Cheeto would kind of be like, we playing around, Rob would be like, dink, 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 dink. And then Cheeto would be like, hey, let's play again. And Cheeto's good, man. Anyways, first round, you got Cheeto chance right off the back. Rob Font was so fast and so sharp in the first round. It seemed like Cheeto was having trouble just kind of keeping up. Like he just behind him, just getting lit up. Second round was much closer, but I feel like Rob Font still won that second round, but like barely. And like Cheeto was right there in the second round. The first round, it was like a separation. I feel like Cheeto must have got his rhythm or something in that second round because he was much better, counter punching better. He was landing good leg kicks. Rob Font must have hit Cheeto Vera in the face 10,000 times in the first 2 rounds, but only Rob Font had any damage on his face. Like Cheeto Vera's lead left hook might have stolen the round, because in the second round, Rob Font was on skates off a lead left hook, like right towards the end of the round. Round 3, Cheeto's round. Cheeto and the ref almost got into a fight before this round started because Cheeto would not wait because he knew he had him on skates at the end of the round, so he's ready to go. He was all in the like the ref was like, "Hey, come on, hey man, get, quit fucking around, man, get back!" Like it is so funny that the ref said that to him between rounds. Quit fucking around, man, get back. Quit fucking around, come on. Like this round started, I think Rob wanted to wrestle. But Cheeto was like, nah, let's just stay up here. And so Rob was like, fine. And Cheeto Vera was like, Pat-Man. Just, he was just eating them punches. He was eating them. Oh, he was eating them. He tried to land this crazy jump knee towards the end of the round. But I mean, just, it's crazy because Font was still lighting him up the whole fight. But in the first 2 rounds, he was lighting up Cheeto, and Cheeto wasn't really responding. I mean, but every time he hit him, he cut him or busted him open or swelled him up. And then in the third round, it was different. Because Rob was still lighting Cheeto up, but it didn't matter because now Cheeto was in his groove. So Rob is landing his punches because he's so fast and so accurate, but it didn't matter. He'd just be like, ding, 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 bow, ding, 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 boom, ding, 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 bow. Like Cheeto was hitting him hard, and man, and Cheeto like, I don't know, Cheeto's like made out of razor blades or something. Maybe he did intentionally disable Sugar Sean. I want to see that match run back. That's what I want to see, Sugar Sean versus Cheeto again. But I don't think Cheeto even want that fight. I don't think Sugar Sean want it either. Like, not like on some fear shit. I just don't think either one of them sees that as the fight they need for their career right now. But I think it would sell a shit ton of, if they make it a main event, it'll sell a shit ton of pay-per-views. Anyways, round 4, it's a Cheeto round again. And this is where I first wrote this might be fight of the night. Because, I mean, from my standpoint, it's 2 rounds to 2 rounds. And even though Rob Font look all beat up and Cheeto looked like he just came out the shower, it's a very close and competitive fight. Just Rob's face was all busted up. I don't know what happened to that dude, man. His face was busted up. But yeah, like Cheeto, like he was just, like he landed an elbow to just cut him open. And it was just like, it's like, at this point, the fight was pretty much a boxing match. And then at some point, Cheeto Vera heard Shawn Michaels' theme music. Just, I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. It's just like that sweet chin music. Just a standing sidekick to Rob Font's chin. Might have been one of my favorite moments in UFC history. He landed sweet chin music on Rob Font. I was like, the Heartbreak Kid. Shawn, all he needed to do was go to one of the corners and start stomping. Anyways, Rob Font literally looked like a monster at the end of the round with the mask of blood and swelling and cuts on his face. And Cheeto pretty much looked like Cheeto Vera. It's like at the end of the round, like Cheeto was looking at Rob and Rob kind of gave him like a yeah. But like, I don't know what Rob was perceiving, but he looking at Cheeto like, yeah, you got a little mouse under your eye now. And Cheeto was looking at him like, you look like Eric Stoltz from The Mask. Young people, look it up. You don't know what it is. Anyways, yeah, round 5. There were literally people in the crowd yelling for Rob Font to just stay on the stool. Font, just like every other round, started in control, mixing it up, striking really well, and then at some point Cheeto got his rhythm, and even though Rob was still mixing it up and still striking very well, Cheeto just started hitting him back, and Cheeto seems to be made out of razor blades and metal shafts or something, And Cheeto just started playing again. And it was crazy. This is all the time about like Cheeto would start playing, and if he played, just dude, like this is how you know Rob Font, despite his face, was really like the way TC and Alexander Volkanovski. You know what I'm saying? Like Rob Font was never out of this fight, even though basically from the end of round two, he was losing the rest of the fight. He was never out of this fight. He was always close. He was always competitive. He was always dangerous. Just Cheeto, I don't know, man. I think Rob Font's punches was Cheeto flavored. Because Cheeto is like, give me some more Rob Font punches, guys. I'm gonna sweet chin music again. I think I'm cute. He did it again in round 5. He sweet chin music again in round 5. It was a crazy fight, man. It was 30 seconds left in the fight, and he sweet chin music him again. This time he got the pin. Yeah, he did it, and then he danced a little bit, and he just 1, 2, 3. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. Marlon Cheeto Vera win by unanimous decision. Respect for Rob Font for making it to the end of that fight, because I mean, he really got brutalized, and it was crazy because he didn't get brutalized like, oh, Rob Font sucks. Like, no, just it was like, wow, how good. Same way with Sugar Sean. There wasn't a point where you were like, oh, Rob Font is not good and Cheeto beat him. No, you were like, wow, how good is Cheeto to beat a guy that good, like that overwhelmingly. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about him and the Sugar Sean fight. Even though I feel like if they fought again, it wouldn't go that way. I think we'll go more like this fight. Only I don't know if Cheeto can do this to Sugar Shane in a stand-up match, right? But then again, maybe he wouldn't have the same strategy. Who knows? I mean, what I do know is that Cheeto Vera is much, much, much better than I ever gave him credit for. And he really, I mean, I knew he was a good fighter. I knew he was one of the top fighters, but I didn't realize quite how good he was. And this fight really, I mean, 5 rounds of him fighting somebody who's so clean, so fast, so accurate like Rob Font, and to win like this, it was crazy. And his post-fight speech, man, his wife and kids in there, man, shit had me choked up a little bit when he was getting choked up. Fucking Cheeto Vera. Anyways, that guy said 2, 3, 4. That's what I want. Good call out. Anyways, I think that's it. I think we've done it, folks. If you're still here, I fucking love you. Please like and subscribe. Share with your friends and all that good shit. Catch you next time. Bye.